Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for taking the time, especially on the middle of a Tuesday afternoon. I know it's early in the week for us. It's a holiday week, a short week. We wanted to have this live training on Positive Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. We really wanted to fit it in before Wednesday. So we want to make sure you have plenty of nuggets, information, marketing material, right? Some great sales strategies and ideas before the 4-day weekend, because I want you to challenge yourself and start to use some of these ideas to get the word out, spread the message, either to your existing book of business, to new clients, prospects, leads, all the above, right? Even if it's a social media ad, you got to challenge yourself. And it doesn't matter if you're 19 years old and you know social media like the back of your hand. Hopefully you try some new TikTok strategies, right? And give it a whirl with some of these new messages. And if you're in your 70s and even 80s, right? Hopefully you'll put a new Facebook ad out there, or a blast, right? Maybe on LinkedIn or Facebook or all the above, to say, hey, some of my card friends, my networking group, right? The Rotary Club, whatever it is, they're going to ask me about quotes. And I'm going to wind up selling a new policy because of today's presentation. That's the name of the game. And what we did today, it's a little different, a little unique, is we're talking about Assurity. We're talking about some of these instant decision and guaranteed issue type products that you can sell online and through social media. And we're also talking about strategies using and leveraging social media and some of these new platforms. So it's insurance in general, it's sales in general, and then we're also taking a deeper dive into the Assurity product base. So some great stuff to come. Let's move forward. What I want to do is at the end of today's call, we're going to wrap up at 3 p.m. Eastern, and we're going to give away, we're doing something very different today. We're giving away the new Apple iWatch. And here is the only caveat. So you have to answer first incorrectly, number one, question of the day. Number two, you get the iWatch when you submit your Assurity application. Okay? So if you've already written Assurity, wonderful. With your next Assurity app, we send the Apple iWatch when it's issued. Okay? Or if you've never written before, we'll get you appointed, submit your first piece of business, get it placed, and boom, the Apple iWatch comes in the mail. Okay? But most important, you got to stay on until the end, and you got to pay attention. Okay? That's the goal. And that's how we're going to all walk away with nuggets after this hour is up. So let's jump right in. We're also going to have Beth, who handles in-house social media marketing and Show Me Now Direct. She's going to jump on towards the end. And then we have our featured speaker from Assurity. Scott is joining us as well. He'll be on in about 10 minutes or so. But this is going to be an awesome presentation, very different, very unique, especially if you're on these every single week. I think you're going to enjoy what is about to come here. So let's go to the first slide. What I want to do is talk about the opportunity. And again, I don't care how long you've been doing this or how old or young you are. That's wonderful. Okay, and just to give you an idea, one of our largest cases in history was over $1 million of annual target premium, and it was written by a gentleman from Texas in his early 80s. Okay, and by the way, the lead was generated on Facebook. And I see he's actually on this call, so I don't even mind talking about it. But the main point, you're never too old or young to try new strategies, number one. Number two, to get yourself out there on social media, okay, and have an online presence. So the toll and graph in front of you, and this is important, okay? Why? Because it shows you there's never been a better time than right now with the younger generation. They're online, they're asking questions, they're interested in life insurance and IUL and return of premium and critical illness. And what are the chances that I'll get a critical illness before the age of 60? Everything is here in front of you. And this is the proof in the pudding when you say, Bill, why do I need Insure Me Now Direct? Why do I need to get myself out there on LinkedIn and social media and all the other platforms? Okay, here is the proof. Okay, let's move over to the top section here. Second straight year, millennials express the highest overall concern for life insurance. All right, we know This is happening more and more every day, and we know why. Okay, COVID was a big part of this. COVID literally shocked the entire world and said to the younger generation, oh my gosh, if something happens to me, mom, dad, Uncle Johnny, what are we going to do? Okay, and they know friends, family members are dying from COVID. It happened. We saw it happen. Okay, so again, it forced people to go online and research life insurance and quotes and tell me more, right? Okay, just under that, LIMRA study, half of Gen Z and millennials say they plan to buy life insurance this year. And we know they're going to search online before they do anything else. What does that tell us as agents? We got to be out there. Okay, we got to be out there. We have to have an online presence. Very important. I can't stress it enough. Bottom section, MailChimp, 50% of marketers believe that insufficient adoption of AI is going to inhibit them from achieving their goals. So what does this tell us? It tells us as agents, as marketers, we got to be out there. If you can leverage AI, right, to your benefit, to get the word out, to spread the message, then use it. We have a chat GPT bot that's integrated into our website today. Okay, and why do we have this artificial intelligence on our website? It's to help you get answers to your questions faster, more accurately, streamline. Okay, so you don't have to go to 180 different pages to find the answer you're looking for. So you have to look at the business the same way. If there's new technology available, you got to look into this. Okay, and just like if you were still selling in 1985, in 1995, even in 05, look how rapidly this industry is changing. Okay, so rely on us, okay, to keep you in the loop with the latest and greatest technology. And that's what we're going over today. Okay, let's keep moving forward. What I want to do next is talk about Carrie's Corner, one of my favorite monthly articles, editorials. So Carrie dives in, right, and shares some of his personal stories, personal business stories back in the 70s and 80s, being a general manager with MetLife and then going into the brokerage space. And we can learn a lot from these stories, okay, especially hand delivering a death benefit check. And, you know, we know how this goes. So he has his latest volume 32. This was my favorite article, and I want you to check it out. Here's why. So he talks about how important it is to ask questions, okay, and how by asking questions, letting the consumer or the agent, if you're a recruiter, let them do all the talking, okay, and they will give themselves the answer they need so you can make the sale. Think about that. Okay, very, very important. He gives some great examples in this article. I also want to move over to the left-hand side. Number one, want to wish you all a very happy and healthy 4th of July week and weekend. Hopefully you'll spend some good quality time with your loved ones, friends, family, all the above. We're also going to be closed Thursday and Friday, so we'll have a full day tomorrow and then back in the office Monday morning, 9 a.m. Okay, let's keep moving forward. By the way, if you need anything, like I, in fact, just mentioned, a good example, that ChatGPT chatbot, we call it Billy the Bot on our website. If you go on at Thursday, Friday, we're closed, Saturday, Sunday, okay? Like I said, type in any question you have, the answer will come up. It'll even lead you to a quoting engine, okay, to an e-app or drop ticket, so you can have everything that you need to sign up a new consumer, okay? And if you have Insure Me Now Direct, obviously everything is A to Z, and that doesn't matter if it's 2 a.m. on Saturday night and you're sleeping. The client has literally everything they need at their fingertips. Let's keep moving forward. What I want to talk about next, leveraging the latest technology, right? Andrew, if we can just fast forward for 1 second, then we'll back up. If we talk about leveraging the latest technology, right, we have to be able to pivot, right? We have to not just talk about being able to pivot, right? And that we're the leaders when it comes to technology. We have to prove it by our actions, right? So you have to look at us and say, wow, you know, Levinson is always ahead of the curve. And you look at what the carriers are doing, and they're usually either in front of the carrier or a short step behind them. We as agents need to do the same thing, okay? So I always say, don't listen to what we say, watch what we do, And here's another good example. Okay, we had the first fully interactive mobile app in the industry, period. Years and years ago, we launched the app. Okay, number two, our agent said, hey, you know what? I like emails, but I'm getting flooded. We want to be able to communicate now by text message. We want, if Kerry's Corner article just came out yesterday morning, we want to be the first to know, can you send it by text and I'll check it out on my iPhone or my iPad. You can opt in for text communication moving forward. We'll include this in the thank you email. But again, we are moving the needle when it comes to technology, and you have to do the same. Experiment, try new things, okay? Put your right foot forward. All right, now let's back up for 1 second. I want to talk about what's number one to all of us here at Levinson. That's you, okay? You're our customer. We don't sell on a retail level. We don't have a call center in the back room. We are 100% wholesalers, distributors, okay? We do not market to the same bucket of clients and prospects that you market to and sell to. That's a conflict of interest. It should be illegal, okay? So, getting back to my point, our customers, our agents, when these come in like you're seeing in front of you through Facebook, Google reviews page, it means the world to me, to my family, to every one of us here in the office. Right now we have employees in 4 different states. This is what makes our day. This is what makes our 4-day July 4th weekend, okay? Christy, I could not have closed this case without all of your help and knowledge. You are the best. Lynn, on the bottom, Ashley K. in contracting continues to perform at a high level, and Kim is exceptional as always. Thank you, Bill. Richard B. Okay? Thank you. This means so much again. So please share. Go to our Facebook page, our Google reviews page. Share a few words about the team, the staff. Okay? In fact, as long as you're active, we send you an IUL prospecting book, complimentary, for all active agents. Please share. What we do is, as soon as you send these in, we literally send them around the office, okay? So the entire team gets a chance to see what you said about them or the team or the department. So please jump in. We're going to send a thank you email before we leave tonight. You'll have it in your inbox, and we're going to include all of these links so you can check this out either tonight or tomorrow or over the holiday weekend. All right, I have one more slide, and then Scotty's going to take the wheel. What I want to talk about now is a very easy tool, a very easy way for you to keep your finger on the pulse in our industry. Okay, we all know with some of these DOL suggested changes, some of the updates, some of the carrier changes, we're seeing a lot of movement in the final expense space right now. Okay, literally 3-4 carriers, boom, they were here yesterday, now they're gone. Okay, you have to know what's going on. Okay, as soon as we heard about all of this, we sent out a blast, a marketing piece that talks about Manhattan. Okay, Manhattan Life's FEX product that's been around for over 100 years. Okay, you have to know the latest and greatest. You have to know when a consumer says to you, Billy, hey, I heard about this Lumico company. You know, tell me about their final expense product. You have to know, oh, sorry, Bob. You know, the product is no longer for sale, but I have other competitive products as good, if not better. Okay, this is a way to keep your finger on the pulse with 90 plus carriers and thousands of products and all the industry changes and updates in 1 second in real time. Okay, so this 411 leader comes out every other week. In fact, you'll have one tonight in your inbox. Just click on it. Okay, focus on the carriers that you're selling or want to sell with. Take a quick look, and you move on to your next marketing campaign and Facebook ad, whatever it is. Okay, but we make it so easy. Okay, let's keep moving forward. What I want to do now, and I also just want to take a second and thank Scott, because he was just a little under the weather, and he didn't have to do this for us today. He committed to it, and I did tell him if, worst case scenario, we can have someone else fill in, but he said, no, I want to do this. I feel great, and I'm back. So, Scott, I want to take my hat off to you and really thank you for taking the time to help our agents. It means the world.
No problem, Bill, and thank you for the introduction. Always great to be on, with you and with Levinson and Associates. Just think so highly of your organization And you and your father, have done such great work for the industry for a long time. I'm somebody who's been around the industry for a while, been on the electronic side of our industry almost as long as Bill.
Yep.
And and have some just common sense approach stuff for you to look at today. So not further ado, I'm just going to launch into it. In my title here, social media tips and tricks your kids already know. I've got 2 kids at home. Both of them make fun of me, who's a technology guy, on a regular basis for how uneducated I am on certain things that they're into that I'm not. But what it shows overall is that online, obviously, and social media and cues is just multi-generational right now. Whether it's the grandparents going out to Facebook to see, the grandkids' photos, whether it's the latest trend on TikTok, Instagram, or something else, as a salesperson who is really getting into, social media, or looking for customers or prospects in general, right? It's just important to go where people are. And the easiest, most cost-effective way to go where people are is social media. I mean, there are people everywhere. Bill gave some great stats earlier on kind of the social media landscape and some of the statistics around, social media in general. And we're going to further on some of those statistics, along with just kind of going over, these few bullets here on our agenda. And we're going to look for those opportunities for you. We're going to teach you kind of look on, what people want out there and how to deliver it. We want to have you do some research on prospect and recruiting tips that you can actually use for your business right now, and then introduce you to some tools you may or may not know of that can help you in that journey. So hopefully, we'll speak here for about a half hour. Hopefully you'll get something out of this. And, the reason why we're looking at this right now is, studies have shown right now that 78% of sales professionals using social media are performing better than their peers. And again, it's the ubiquity of social media that really helps there. And ultimately, it's always this fear of missing out, right? I'm a marketer. That's a huge part of this, but you don't be left behind as others move to social media or move, as Bill talked about, Billy the bot and, AI or whatever else is next. You want to really figure out how the practice of targeting, prospecting, and building relationships on these platforms can really work for you. A common problem just in general, right, is just finding good leads, finding good referrals. There's been studies in the past couple of years, that the biggest challenge that most agents say in the industry, right, is that 30% of their biggest challenge is, just around just getting proper leads in the right way, in the right form, in the right part of the buying process. And up to 82% of these potential prospects can be found online. I mean, Bill talked about a case earlier, somebody in their 80s, out there prospecting. If you're on this call, great job. I mean, age is just a number. People are using these platforms every day, and getting on social media can drastically improve the number of the quality leads that you're looking at, or prospects, if you're trying to, build your agencies. And it just helps solve a pain point in finding some of these people. So, to start off, we should really be looking at what are those main questions that you should be looking at to form your strategy around social media. And it's important here to kind of just go back to basics. Am I using social media to reach what audience? Am I using it to serve my clients? Am I using it just for prospects and selling, or for those recruits? And then we're going to get into, what is the best way to strengthen your presence out there? And then how do you measure it, right? Because if we're spending a lot of time and effort and sometimes money as we're doing blasts and other things, how do we measure that we're actually getting, the results that we're looking for? And so as we're setting, those goals early on, we should be learning how to listen and learn more about these audiences on social media. And that's one of the great parts of social media, right? You can learn and listen from the best just by doing some simple searches, following certain people that end up being influencers in your space. But it's important to find the right channel for you and then to use this information to build around your brand and your strategy from what you've learned. So we're going to get into this now. So pick your lane is really important. Where I see most people fail is they try to do too much with social media. They're trying to show in their feeds that they're either, going after the customer versus going after an agent or trying to serve. Having one single source of an audience is what's most important, to have consistent messaging. And don't, old Ghostbusters reference, right? Don't cross the streams, right? Don't have those mixed messages, because your audiences, they're going to fall off. They're only interested in that one topic or down their audience path. But if you mix that up too much, then you're sure to fail early. Another thing, Bill's platforms have been great for years, right? It's important to follow up with some automated email services to the topics that you're serving up. The more bait you have out in the water online, whether it's social media, email, and other places. Bill even mentioned, texting. We want to have consistent messages because there is so much noise. We're going into what is the noisiest time, to try to cut through clutter that there ever is, when you're going into a campaign season. And so to have the most bait out in the water, the most lines out there for your audience is going to be really important. So following up social media with automated email services around a topic to your audience, to your prospect list, becomes very important. And then those same messages, if you have a website or you're on Insure Me Now Direct, as part of your platform, how do you then pass the baton over to those places that are going to land from those posts that you've seen or the emails that they've seen, right? So you don't have to get really complicated here. I think it's important to do the opposite. It's important to start for simple messages and figuring out multiple paths to blow those messages out of the water. So when we look at just building your brand and kind of basing on some of those messages, right? As an agent, as a professional, as an agency, what real world problem are you trying to solve? That's the important thing when you're looking at a brand. Assurity, we're a small company here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Our real world problem we're trying to solve is we're an asset protection company, right? We're trying to help people through difficult times. We're not an asset accumulation company, right? We're not trying to build wealth for them. So when we look at our marketing, we look at it from that single lens. When you need to look at stuff for your agency, what is that problem you're trying to solve? Are you trying to help somebody be comfortable in retirement? Are you trying to help them, kind of not live paycheck to paycheck? Or are you trying to, protect the nest egg that they were so hard to build? Figuring out that path and making sure that that is what you represent, or it could just be as simple as, Bill mentioned how, Carrie in the past handing a death benefit check to somebody, that solved a real world problem for that family, those types of examples. So we want to illustrate those examples. We want to shout those from the rooftop. We also want to talk about who you are as a person. People connect with who you are before what you can do for them. If they don't like you, honestly, none of your content will matter. So stay away from topics that can cause division for folks online. Make sure your personal brand is consistent to who you are, what you like to do. And for the agents that I've known who've been in this business for a long time, they love helping families. They love to be able to make people's lives better, because in turn that makes their own life better. So finding out those things, putting those things out there are really important. Bill talked about, maybe putting an ad out there to get a quote. People are in general just naive, or they don't even know what the price of some of these products are. So putting some real world examples out there, clients that you've solved minus their last names, right? To show and illustrate what those things would look like from a prospecting perspective, that really matters. Or if it's recruiting, realistic examples of what somebody can make early on versus what they're going to build to with hard work, those things matter. But whatever those things are, be consistent with them. And then at the end, right, Figuring out what makes you unique. For Bill and the Levinson Agency, they've been unique for a long time. They've been a leader in the forefront of technology, but technology just not for technology's sake. Technology for a labor-saving device and to allow people access to products they may never have had a chance to just because technology made that reach possible. You need to find out what makes you unique. That part of that could be the AssureMe Direct platform. It could be other aspects that you bring to the world and the business, but you want to make sure you're shouting those from the rooftops, and that's how you're truly representing and building your brand. Once you get those things consistent across different platforms, you want to continue to establish that area of expertise, showing it's your strength, and make sure you're doing that more frequently. What you don't want is what I see a lot of folks, they kind of start these efforts, they have their social media ghost town, and it goes away. And you want to continue to show those recent successes because people will then know that you're in the business. They'll know that they're ready to help. You're there to help them, and that you're an excellent resource for your clients, whether it's educational content, getting reviews from people that help you with referrals, but getting that area of expertise defined on your social media channel is very important. And then don't neglect your actual profile itself. Adding an actual current professional headshot or something that makes you look and represents you is very important, depending on the business that you're in, right? So make sure that photo of you is prominent and there. I don't know how many folks I've seen recruiting out on LinkedIn that don't even have their own photo out there, right? Clean that up. If you have a logo for your business or your agency, make sure it's clean and easy to read. Completely fill out the About Us section of the social media channel that you're on, because that's important for business listings. And then include links to your other entities that you would have online, such as your website, an AssureMe Now Direct or other places, because that connection really helps your profile shine. And those connections and that cross-linking helps you to be found in more people's algorithms on their social media feeds. So figuring out what to post, right? That ends up being a huge question. We want to make sure we're adding value. If it's truly adding value, people don't see it as an ad, right? They see it as something that can help them out. Making sure that you allow people that, have comments, make sure that you're reviewing those ends up being important. But you can find a lot of articles and great content, and we're going to go over some tools later on that will show you exactly what to do there. But make those things your own. If you find an article somewhere else, just don't throw a link out there. Put in your own comments and why you feel that is important and why you think it is important for your audience to digest. So when you're writing posts, you need to make them personal, as I just mentioned. It shouldn't just be all about business. You're still selling yourself here. Feel free to ask people for recommendations. Feel free to ask people about proud moments in life that they have that you want to share, with the group. You want to build trust. We're in an industry where, insurance and agents, there are avoidance categories, for consumers. We want to keep building trust. We want to start conversations versus just talking, right? We want to have open-ended questions for posts. We want people corresponding with us. And we always want to stay above board, friendly, and professional, right? Sometimes things don't go somebody's way, right? If something kind of goes down a bad path online, don't triage those things online. Make sure you take them offline, talk to somebody, and then have them do a retort after the fact. And then cross promotion of these things, as we talked about earlier, is really key. But we are in a short attention span society. You have to keep things short and sweet. You have to keep things under a minute for them to be digested. If you're somebody that's out on YouTube now, you're seeing that, the shortened videos are on YouTube now that are just part of a feed that, come from other sources. It's the old, kind of Vine social media that is now rearing its head in other formats. So these 20-second, 30-second, 40-second videos are attention grabbing that you need to be short and sweet and include those images of yourself. And ultimately, those short, sweet messages and conversations can turn into longer, meaningful either appointments or conversations for you in the future. So when we look at best practices for posting itself, on Facebook or TikTok, you should be posting 3 to 10 times a week if you're going to be all in on those websites. That can seem like a lot, especially on those contents. So you really want to plan out a calendar and a strategy to do that. On LinkedIn, it's a little less. The expectation for the audience about 2 to 5 times a week. And on YouTube, you could do once every other week on YouTube and still be effective from what we've seen in the studies that we've done. So post close to the beginning or the end of the workday for the best results. If that is when people are going to engage with social media the most and their site traffic shows that. And so making sure that you're posting when people are actually joining ends up being very important as well. So as we get into the opportunities in the channels themselves, Facebook is still, even though some folks think it's out of favor, it is still the #1 most used platform among all US adults, no matter ethnicity, gender, location. It definitely skews, it doesn't have as many younger people on it, but it is more ubiquitous for the insurance audience that we all serve. And when you're looking at folks, with median, purchase and insurance, in the mid 40-year-olds, that is still Facebook. And senior market is definitely Facebook as you are looking at pre-retirement needs for folks in their 50s and 60s. So you want to connect with these prospects. You want to look for life events that are going on in their life as you are seeing people within your feed, or we can show you even how to search for people who are having life events that ultimately could trigger an insurance purchase. LinkedIn is your recruiting site, right? So again, we talk about picking one lane. We do not think you'll be successful if you're on multiple channels trying to keep all that up, right? You're either picking Facebook or you're picking LinkedIn, which again, 86% of job seekers, use that to find their next place or to find more information about employers. So if you're looking at recruiting, LinkedIn is the place for you. YouTube is where you post video and educational content, or webinars like this could be chunked up and post on YouTube, right? And it's the second largest search engine in the world behind Google. That's where people go to find information. And that's still holding right now. ChatGPT could be that, in the next 5 years, but this video outlet for YouTube is still there. And if you're wanting to interact with folks and have them comment, a great way to do so is a YouTube live stream. And going over content can work in that regard. And then we have the up and comer. I mean, it can be controversial for some, but TikTok for the young audience is the fastest growing social media network. There is a lot of engaging. They're looking for those short, entertaining videos, and this can be used for recruiting or prospecting. But my best advice to you is don't join a social media network that you're not already a part of. Don't try unless you want to really learn it and go all in. So if you've never been on TikTok, listen on TikTok for quite a while, experience TikTok for a while before you go in and just try to post. You're entering a room, you may not know how it works or the rules or how to listen, but just pick the one that makes the most sense for you and go all in on one versus trying to serve all needs to all. These sites are all going to show the audience motivations, or if you can't find what challenges they're facing online, it's usually not too hard. You can do searches on these sites. You can use other sites to find audience motivations. Heck, if you all go out to Reddit right now, the site Reddit, and just put in life insurance agent, you're going to see from a recruiting aspect what people are concerned about for life insurance agents right now. And if you have good stories or counter stories to a lot of those things that are in those feeds, in those comment trails, you have a good set of content to build on. And just like anything else, we have to overcome objections or be more meaningful about answering people's questions. listening to the audience is a great approach, and to be able to be there and interact with people and show them how you might be able to help them without having, any skin in the game, again, helps build that trust. And then ultimately from there, I think they can build services and look for other things from you because you showed that empathy to help them out. So again, pretty easy stuff here. You need to listen closely and then write down those questions and then research the questions further. You need to interact regularly, as we talked about some of those intervals earlier. Post stuff that's valuable and not just noise, and maintain connections out there and build your audience even further, right? Reciprocating when somebody joins your feed or asks to follow you, and doing the same for others. So you already have a network. This is common, right? It's the age old, selling to your 100 friends, family, or whatever. Your network you've probably already built on these things, but how can you extend that network? How are there people within your network that really give you an insight to others in getting more referrals from them? Using social media is a lightning fast way to engage with them and to show the value you're already bringing to others because you've had those posts and you can share those with them. So as you're watching those social media feeds, most of these things have search engines, right? But most people look at these search engines because they're either looking for an event or they're looking for a person's name. But as you see in the example here, you could just be selling their house as a search term, right? We know people who are selling their house, buying a home, are more likely to buy life insurance. It's one of those key life events. Having a baby is also right in that realm, right? That we know that those are triggers for life events for life insurance. We can find those people within our network every day by doing a simple search, congratulating them on whatever they're going through, or sometimes being empathetic for what they're going through, and then starting a conversation now that you can follow up later. But those search engines on each of these platforms are so underutilized, and people can really find the right prospect in the funnel at the right moment if they're using the tools that are already available for free for them. Things like seeking opportunity, right? Recently graduated for job seekers, right? Those are key things to put in these search engines to narrow down people that could be recruit or prospects that ultimately can add and help your business later. If you don't know these people are not part of your network, right? On LinkedIn, you can go through LinkedIn Sales Navigator, which is a paid service. And ultimately, you can use that to reach out to people. And I'm sure you've all seen people reach out to you, right? And kind of asking for that initial introduction. Or you can look for people within your own network to, give you that warm referral. And that always works the best, to then get somebody's number and take their information offline so you can have those deeper, more meaningful conversations. I'm going to flip through a couple of these here because we talked about those to kind of get to the meat of the tools. So here is a tool that I use on a regular basis as a marketer, and it is called Answer the Public. Now, Answer the Public, you can do a couple free searches a day, and I think it's 3 or 4. It's a slight payment on the service if you don't, but just go down the free path. And you will see what people are actually looking for on whatever topic is online. You see there's an example here that may be hard to see on the slide, but it's critical illness insurance, which is one of the products we sell here at Assurity. And these are all the questions in all the world and different aspects on what they are looking for, asking about that product. It could be a service, it could be annuities, it could be recruiting, as we talked about earlier. But these funnels are going to show you what content you should focus on because these are the most highly trafficked things. If you do a Google search, you'll see usually in the results about 1/3 of the way down the page, there's a place called People Also Ask, right? Those are the most commonly generated topics within a subset of what you're looking for. This site aggregates all of those things for you. And it also does it for different social media networks, not just Google. It's got TikTok and other things. So if you want to know what content is going to generate the most response, this is a great place to start. Again, I think you get three or four searches a day on this, and that's more than enough to get your library of content going. From there, you can use ChatGPT to start writing some of this content for you. You also have to really look at that, and be prudent, because AI is great and it's going to continue to get better, but it also doesn't understand certain insurance jargon or certain approaches to folks. You always want to have an editorial lens, but you should be using it to generate content, post, and emails at this point with that editorial lens. But if you're looking at a different way for content curation, different articles on a topic, a website like Alltop is a great place that curates all the content and blog articles into one place and isn't too salesy, right? It's just giving you content. So if you want to forward on an article, put your own spin on that as part of your feed with the link, this is a great place to do that as well. We all need pretty photos and images, just like the slides today. So Canva is a great way to have social media templates that are just out of the box. They have a lot of freebies and get a paid tier, but I think you can get a lot out of the free stuff that exactly puts the right kind of dimensions on your posts, the right professionalism on your posts, and has some best practices there. So that's a great place to start for a tool. And now we're getting into the AI stuff, right? If you just look up Microsoft Copilot, they're now building, machines with this every day. If you go out to the Bing search engine, it's basically taking the best of ChatGPT and dumbing it down a bit, quite honestly, and making that search very available for you. So if we go back, right, we can look that here's what everybody's looking for, which is answer the public. Find your audience, find what they're interested in, and then build the content, the articles, be either ChatGPT or using other people's articles and linking to them. Make it look professional on Canva. And again, for the email and the writing help that you may need, use those AI tools coming up. Or you can look at some of the tools we have for you as well. At Assurity, we're firm believers in social media and helping our agents get better results, and working with agencies like Levinson Associates to provide these tools for you. So we have a whole social media kit just on recruiting, life event prospecting, the different products that we have that are posts that we know have worked, and we continue to add to these. So you can find those out on assurity.com/social media. And that particular website will kind of give you our strategy and our guide, along with any of these posts that are free and easy to use. And I think, Bill put it well early on that, you have about 4 days coming up. It's good to have the holidays. It's also good sometimes in the morning with a cup of coffee to just get started and to get moving and to try to get more reach and get more out of your business and take advantage of those situations, right? So utilize some of these tools, utilize the expertise like what that Bill brings to the table, or if you ever need help from your friends here at Assurity, Bill would bring you to us, and we'd be happy to extend that help as well. So those are my slides today. Hopefully that gave you stuff to think about, and hopefully
that was great.
And I appreciate being here today.
That was excellent, Scott. Thank you so much. I learned a lot, and I really appreciate you jumping in and making this work today. So what we're doing, we got a bunch of questions and comments that came in during Scott's presentation. So we're getting back to all of you, and then what we'll do is we can patch Scott in afterwards if needed. But I think we pretty much got a handle on all the Q&A. So thank you again, Scott. I have about, 10 minutes, no, not even, maybe 10 minutes left or so, and then we'll have our question of the day. What I want to do now is switch gears and just think about this, right? You just heard his presentation, and Assurity, number one, right? They have some great products, as we know. In fact, it's not just the smaller cases. We had an agent in Tennessee that just closed a $30,000 a year term case. So $30,000 was the annual premium amount. So very nice case. But on the smaller case side, for door openers, right? And still very important products. Think of this for a second. Just take a step back. 100% direct to consumer, meaning instant decision. Okay, if there's no red flags, instant decision, print, save the policy, or have it mailed up to the consumer and agent. You can do this with your client, or the client can go on your site at, like I said, 2 a.m., sell while you sleep, and go through the whole process A to Z. Or think about this, you're at your daughter's soccer game, okay, cheerleading practice, supermarket, and you run into someone, introduce yourself. I'm the local insurance agent. You have your Sage free scholarship pin on, right? And they say, oh, yeah, I've been meaning to get a quote for life insurance. Can you run a quote for me? And you pull out your phone or your iPad, whatever you have handy, and you pull up your Insure Me Now Direct site, and you can go through the entire process with your consumer face to face, okay? It doesn't have to be at 2 a.m. when they log in, right? If they're in a different state than you are. It could be face to face. You can turn your laptop around. Doesn't make a difference, okay? And you have right now, just with Assurity, free scholarships on top of the great product and commissions and renewals on most products. Your consumer gets a 1-year scholarship, up to 1 year free, 4-year tuition, and we have 430 plus colleges in the country. That's another value add. So when Scott was talking about getting creative and scrappy, right? Use these marketing pieces, these platforms like free scholarships to drive the traffic and the attention to create the question which opens the sale. So these are the things that are sitting on a shelf that you have to think about. And what I would do is just write down on a piece of paper all these great ideas, right? That maybe you're not talking about, hey, I'm going to sell this policy for this amount of money and you can get, 100,000 for $32, but it's all of the other things that life insurance policies or critical illness policies can do for that consumer. You're educating, right? Except for talking about the amount and price. So that will drive the eyeballs in the traffic, right? Create the sizzle, the likes, the comments, even like Positive Tuesday. We send out a quote every single week. And a lot of agents say, Bill, what does Positive Tuesday even mean? It doesn't mean anything, okay? It's just a way that we put a little quote out there, right, on all social media platforms, and we're branding and we're marketing, right? All kind of by accident, because you all, the agents, are seeing this and you're saying, oh, wow, what does this mean? Oh, you know what? This is a positive quote. Oh, that picture is kind of cute. Okay. Oh, by the way, I need a quote ran because I have an appointment at 3 p.m. this afternoon. Well, guess what that did? That branded and teed up Levinson and Associates. So that agent knows, oh, I have 3 IMOs I work with, but you know what? I remember that Positive Tuesday crazy guy, Bill Levinson. I'm going to call their office. They always answer first. Great. Okay. You need to think like this at the consumer level. Put your consumer hat on and pretend you're the consumer in this case. And you got to educate. Okay. Come up with scrappy, great marketing info material, open doors. Okay. Conversation starters. Then you take it from there. You have the gift to gab. You're going to close every deal, right? You know how that works. So that's the point of all this. With Assurity, you have 5 products today. Okay, think about this. Term life, okay, critical illness, disability. You even have a guaranteed issue accident plan with return of premium. Okay, you can add their ROP option to get all your money back. Okay, if there's not a death by accident, all premium comes back. It's a no-brainer. Okay, and think about this. The new Century DI Plus product from Assurity is going to be on the platform this month, in July, this month. And here's what's so cool. If your client gets declined for the traditional DI, they get offered automatically the graded disability product. Okay, so, hey, Mr. Bill Levinson, you just got declined for Century DI, but you can get up to $500 a month with the graded product, for $82 a month. Is this an option for you? Oh, yes. Well, you, the agent, just sold a new policy when you would have had a declination. Okay? You got to think like this. So they have an awesome platform. 5 products today, 6 products we'll have this month in July. And then think about all the value add you can add on top of it for your marketing spin. There's so much there, folks. It would take me literally the rest of today to talk about all the value add. But there's some great stuff to come. And just know the basics. I don't want to confuse anyone, but again, pick out what's going to make you dangerous for 2024 when it comes to marketing sizzle. Write it down, get it done, and I guarantee you, let's talk a year from now, and you're going to move the needle. I promise you. It's going to happen. Slowly but surely, it will happen. Let's keep moving forward. Sorry about that. How to get started. Okay. Very easy. Get appointed with Assurity. If you're already appointed with another IMO, we match or beat your commissions. Plus, you get free money or leads with your first placed app. Okay? That's a win-win, no-brainer. Okay? Very easy. Doesn't cost you a penny. What we'll do is in the thank you email, all of this will be included. Let's keep moving forward. We also have Beth coming on in a few minutes. We're still going to try to get everyone out in about, I would say, 7 to 8 minutes. We're not going to keep you long. The Levinson difference. This is important because I talk to so many agents and agencies every day, and they say, you mean to tell me with Insure Me Now Direct, I'm agent of record? This isn't just a referral pass-through? I get a referral bonus? No. You are agent of record, just like as if you were face-to-face with a consumer at Starbucks on a Tuesday at 7 a.m. Same exact thing. Commissions, same. Renewals, same. There's no reduction. There's no activation fee. There's no contract you have to sign, okay? Literally, if you want to cancel in a month, it's over. It didn't cost you a penny. Okay, now we hope and we know once you get your arms around this, you're going to love the platform. Okay, and I would definitely give it a shot. Doesn't cost you a penny. And think about all the opportunities, health agencies, P&C agencies, mortgage companies you can partner up with. Okay, we'll have their logo on here. We'll build the marketing material with their logo, and then they send it out to their book. Everything that gets written, boom, you just made a sale. Okay, and you're agent of record. And then you can arrange the split, whatever you want to do with that agency owner. But, I mean, you can just check out the green check marks on the left side, and then you can see some of our competitors, which, by the way, 5+ years ago, we had no competitors. Today, there's a handful, but there's always a gray area. There's always small print. So you got to ask questions. There is no platform like ours that exists today that is multi-carrier, multi-product, where you are 100% agent of record. That's free. Doesn't exist today. Okay, and I'm on record saying it. Let's keep moving forward. Okay, well, what I want to do next is talk about Insure Me Now Direct, just the basics. Okay, now Beth handles all of the setup. So if you're already active or you want to get active and you want to set this up, reach out to Beth anytime. This is her main focus day in and day out. So I encourage you to reach out, say hello, introduce yourself. Let's keep moving forward. Just in the light of time here, I want to keep moving and get to our question of the day, and then make sure Beth has a few minutes. Revenue Accelerator, I'll just give you the 100-foot overview. This works fantastic with, think of like a monster P&C agency or health agency, and they have this big book of business, right? This is a turnkey platform that drips out various products, carriers, concepts, educates all the consumers in the book, okay, and literally drips on them with different hot topics and hot products until they click, reply, I want to quote, and then boom, you made a new sale, okay? It's also great for CSR reps. We have phone scripts, everything from A to Z. And all the best part, it's all free. It's complimentary, and there's no small print. Okay, let's keep moving. Beth is going to be next, and she's going to jump into some of her marketing tactics, a little bit of her 411. Beth?
Thanks, Bill. Our marketing in a box was put together by a couple of ideas that we had in the office, and we figured out that agents need a place to start. We kept hearing that people were looking for ways to market themselves, and we have a lot of tools, and they just didn't really know where to go. So we put together our first marketing in a box presentation, which goes through an introduction into a number of the tools that we have and ways to get started. I always recommend to agents to start with Insure Me Now Direct. Get that first thing done. Get a website. Everyone's going to ask you, do you have something you can send me? Yes, I do. I have Insure Me Now Direct. Let me send you that. And then you have all these other things that you can build on for follow-ups, for social media, like we've talked about today, for how to get leads, how to run ads, marketing programs. Our second Marketing in a Box presentation is an accelerated version. It walks you through the ad process on Facebook and how to get started with that. It's basically a very easy platform to utilize. They walk you through step by step. We kind of did that in our presentation. So definitely look for those presentations on our website on the Insure Me Now Direct page under the products. Some of our marketing tools include things like our social media tips that we put out every month. Last month's tip was all about how to be found on voice search. Voice search would be people talking to Siri, the Alexa. A lot of people have these devices in their home from their iPad, their iPhone, their computer. And so definitely look at that article on how to get found there. We put out these articles at the beginning of each month, so we try to find useful information to take you, to what's current and what's new. I know Scott talked a lot about content on your social media. We have a ton of content. As you can see on the right-hand side of this page, we put out fresh content every single week. Follow our pages on Facebook. When you find a graphic that suits what you're marketing, simply download it. Copy our text. Look at our hashtags. Those hashtags are what allow users to search on the platform. So definitely look at how we do that. Utilize our graphics, our tools, our wording, or change it up yourself. And like he mentioned, Canva is a great opportunity to plug and play. There's a lot of templates in there that you can utilize, or simply utilize the professional graphics we put out every week. And then finally, when you get your Insure Me Now Direct website, I always recommend, get the first couple of tools. So the first tool would be, get a client video, something that you can get up on YouTube that you can then share in an email, on your Facebook page, to your LinkedIn page, and order some co-brands. Things like there's an Insure Me Now Direct flyer. You can do an email campaign, whether you're using Agency Automator or you're using your own platform. We have that. We have Sage Scholarship flyers, that you can co-brand. We put your information on it so that when you're sending that out, your client knows to contact you about these particular products. I'll send it back to Bill.
Thank you so much, Beth. And again, I said it a few times, just reach out, any questions, call her, email her. You can set up an appointment, whatever works best for you, we will accommodate. Okay, we're just about done here in 2 minutes. I know we're a little late, and I apologize, but there's a lot of great info here. And when it comes to social media marketing, having website traffic, your website, all the pieces kind of working together, it could be a little tricky. So that's why I suggest putting a plan down on paper, putting the pieces together, and we can even help you do that as well. Okay, but you got to start somewhere. Okay, left-hand side. Now, I'm telling you right now, and again, I'm on record saying it, for any agent, if you're focused on the monster whale cases, great. If you're focused on FEX term, that's fine too. To drive traffic, okay, and close as many deals as possible in 2024 and even into 25, and unless something major happens in the near future, Facebook ads are the way to go, okay? So we have a coach who can literally coach you to set up your own Facebook ad, and then literally hand over the YouTube link so you can go back and reference his training that he did with you. So we can set that up for you. And we also have a service that is a turnkey Facebook ad platform where all the leads are sent to you directly, 30 to 50 leads a month. It's on the left-hand side, and that's a co-op discounted rate. On the right-hand side, we're having a fire sale. So on the final expense mailer side, on the annuity mailer, financial services mailer, if you want to hold your own seminars, okay, we have these 3 packages. Prices are down. So we have a co-op discount as it is, but prices were just reduced again, starting at $615 for a 1,000-piece mailer. Okay, this may not last long, but I would definitely jump in, ask any one of our marketers for more info. Let's keep moving. I have just 3 slides left, and we'll put a bow on this. A few sample social media posts that are performing great are right in front of you. We promise this every week. To give you an example, you don't have to go reinvent the wheel. You just change a few spokes, see what's working for others, right? Just go into Facebook, for example, search bar, just put in disability insurance and then put recent posts or top performing posts. What's working for the other successful agents, right? And then you want to do something similar. We know how this works, folks. You're not copying, right? You're just taking a few little hints and tips and putting your own piece together. So I encourage you to check it out when you can. The next slide is our last training, and I don't care if you're selling annuities, life insurance, critical illness, it doesn't matter. All of you should take this 4-day holiday weekend and check out the episode 52 Bill Levinson Experience podcast with Charles. He is amazing. Okay, and then on the right-hand side, we have another YouTube link for the live training we did in-house with Charles. But he calls this the annuity 60-second close, and you'll understand when you're done watching it, this works for every type of sale, period. Even if you're selling cars, okay? It works so well. And I think you're going to say afterwards, Bill, I'm so glad I listened and I made a new sale because of it. Okay, that's how much I believe in his concept and strategy. Let's keep moving forward. Next slide is our weekly training events, which is what you're on right now. A few that I want to point out before we move to the final slide here is the 101 Annuity Sales Training Dashboard. This is free with Levinson, okay? Just came out with a part 3 we're launching on 7/11 with a certificate. So every single agent that completes 1, 2, and 3 will get a certificate that says, hey, I'm a Levinson and Associates Annuity Sales Professional. Frame it, put it on your desk, use it for more sales, run with it as fast as you can. In the middle section, Manhattan Life is shining with FEX right now, and there are other 17 products on our Insure Me Now Direct platform. We have our VP joining us on the 18th, and then on the bottom, National Western Life is back on the life and annuity side. So we're doing a 2-in-1 combo on the 25th of July. Last slide here, we'll put a bow on this, but I want to make sure you win your Apple iWatch, especially because you hung out so long, right? Just over an hour. So I want you to get your money's worth today. Hopefully you did with some great nuggets. My Positive Tuesday quote, okay, again, it means nothing, right? But it's a way to brand and market. And guess what? I never missed a Tuesday in the last 7 years. Okay, I started 7 years ago, never missed a Tuesday. So the point is, don't listen to what we say, watch what we do. This is my Positive Tuesday quote for today. Close your eyes, jump, and build those wings as you fly. There's no perfect time, everyone. Okay, the time is now. Jump in. 4 days. Okay, you have 4 days off. Try these new strategies. Create your own Instagram page. Okay, make sure LinkedIn looks good, everything's up to date. Try a new post. Try a Facebook ad. Okay, if you're really feeling it, maybe reach out to our Snoozy vendor and do a Facebook ad training, one-on-one consultation. Okay, you got to start somewhere, and you should write it down so you don't forget. That's most important, because I feel like 2 hours later, other things are going on, and then you don't even remember half of this training today. So write down these pointers, these bullets. I'm going to ask our question of the day right now. Get your little fingers on the keyboard, because you got to be quick and you got to be accurate and correct. Question is, Apple iWatch giveaway with your first Assurity application. Apple iWatch and prospecting book on us. Question is, how many Assurity products are on Insure Me Now Direct? How many Assurity products are on Insure Me Now Direct today? That means instant decision, 100% direct to consumer. Okay? So that means you and the consumer can go through the process together until the end, or the consumer can do it at 2 a.m., or you can send an email link and the consumer can click, run a quote, apply, done, get approved. You just made a new commission plus renewals on most products. Andrew's going to tell us who was first and who was accurate. Andrew?
It is Doug M. Doug M.
Doug M., congratulations. The answer is 5. 5 products today, and then we're adding the 6th in July this month. We're going to add the Century Plus DI product, and then don't forget, if there's a declination, they get an offer for the graded DI product automatically. You don't have to do anything. You just get a new commission if the client says, I want in. Okay? Let's have a wonderful rest of our Positive Tuesday. Great week, great holiday weekend. Try some of these new things. I said it 18 times, and I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I just want to make sure the point comes across and you all try something new, okay? Proof is in the pudding. It's exactly how we started, 1972. Happy holiday, happy July 4th weekend, and great selling. Thank you again.